Good morning, gentlemen. I'm talking to Beyorch's team and Andre Villeroy and Kenny and Kenny Burrell and Byron Ravenel. Is that correct? You're on mute, Byron.
Yeah.
So let's start again.
Yes,
All right.
sir. Yes, sir. That's correct.
So first, I'm first. My first question to you guys is tell me, what is FinTech for the novices that's not familiar with the term? Can you just explain to what is FinTech?
So FinTech is finance technology coming together. Nowadays, a lot of financial institutions have created apps. The moment you step into any form of, application and I would say communications, you then venture off and add technology to your initial services.
What? How did you get here? So Andre, for you, I'm sure this is your first business venture. What made you decide to get into this? And were your previous businesses in the same direction?
It's funny. It's actually, there is a correlation between everything I've ever done, being in finance for so long, private finance. For me, I actually started, owning a couple properties at the age of 23. And then I moved to private finance, and I started working with very prosperous, wealthy investors, just being kind of lucky. And from there, I started seeing a hole in the market. I started noticing that, why is it that I know and I have information that everyone else doesn't? Why is it that there is, and then here comes the questions. Why isn't it, available for people, IPOs and different things like that, that's available solely for institutional investors? And so once I started to analyze and see what was missing, I just decided to create a business plan around that and bring to our underserved communities what it's been missing. And so now what's been missing, you can find through Beyorch.
When did you get interested in crypto in particular? And tell me about that journey into crypto.
I'll let Kenny take that on that. He's actually over the specifically, it was actually him. For about a year and a half, he was been pulling on me to take Beyorch into a path that involves with blockchain and the whole space. Now, for me, it was a huge learning curve, because I didn't know enough in that space until he started, bringing a lot of information to me. We started looking at data. We started looking at what's moving. We looked at a lot. So this was a conscious decision that we made that took a year and a half to even launch. Can you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I brought it to Andre because as a FinTech company, I said, Andre, we need to be able to service the needs of the entire audience, those that are into crypto, those that are into the traditional markets. So we have to be forward thinking. We have to get in front of it, and we have to be able to offer people, what they like. We're an investing company, lending company. And so we wanted to be able to offer investing and lending in the digital market as well as the traditional market.
My next question is going to involve the Black community, because I know in both lending and in financial technology, it seems that we are kind of slow adapters of. We're always heavy users in tech, whether social media, whatever, but we're slow adapters to implementing tech as businesses for ourselves, as owning platforms, and I feel like there may be even a hesitancy for crypto as much as there's a hesitancy for vaccines these days for Black people. Why should Black people be involved in crypto in particular? Why should the Black community? I'm gonna start this with you, Kenny. Why do you think the Black community, what advantage does crypto give, if any, to the long standing practices of discrimination that Black people have dealt with in traditional financial markets?
Well, what crypto does, it eliminates that middleman. It eliminates that barrier to entry. Because crypto is decentralized finance, you're dealing with blockchain. So, every wall that was up, every barrier to entry in finance that was there before, crypto eliminates that. And so now, the underserved communities, the urban communities, people that look like us, now we have access to the opportunity that crypto presents.
Okay. Andre, back to you, like, can you tell me about some of, just as an entrepreneur, some of your failures before this business, and like, what did you learn from, those failures or successes that you're building into BEYORCH, that you're building from into BEYORCH?
Oh my God, man. Failures is something that I had to learn how to adjust my temperament to. It's all around something that I teach my kids. Failing is a part of winning, and I encourage them to actually fail and to actually seek failure, because for me, that has been the sole. I would say that's essentially which has been responsible for any and every success that I've ever had, is because very few times in your life that you'll nail anything right and correctly on the first try. So the more you get comfortable with failure, the greater the outcome and the more likely you'll actually head and actually accomplish what it is that you're looking for. For me, I've learned that it's all one structure. It's not separate. I know, largely we feel that way, that, oh man, I failed here, it's not going to work out. No, it's actually just the opposite, as long as you don't put a period at the end of that sentence, right? And so for me, Jesus, I fail at a lot, but I just have the will to win. So I don't care. I'm not embarrassed. I don't care. I have a goal. And with BEYORCH, we have 4 main core values that I would say that it was birthed from failure: customer obsession, long-term thinking, innovation, and a spirit of excellence. The spirit of excellence kind of ties everything together. And if you're uncomfortable with failure, you will never be excellent in anything.
Yeah.
So that's where.
How long has BEYORCH been? When did BEYORCH start? Like, how long have you guys been?
Yeah, 2018. 2018.
Okay. I see, 4 brothers on the screen. Like, how is it walking into these meetings with this product? And as for, like, how are y'all being received in the market where it may not be, several other people that look like you guys when you're going into some of these meetings? Like, how's that?
Honestly, man, we all receive a lot of love from diverse cultures. Something that, you're talking about high finance, predominantly white, since its inception, to where we are now. I believe in diversity and inclusion. I believe in real, true leadership. And I demonstrate my values when I go into meetings. I'm very respectful. I look at you in the eye. I shake your hand firmly. I'm very intentional, and my team follows suit. They're the same person. If you have an interaction with me versus Kenny versus Byron versus anyone of the team, you will feel like you're talking to the same person by feeling. And so, we've just maintained a very strong core foundation. We really, really want to help people. And so, that's where we are.
Byron, like, how did y'all start as far as raising capital? Is this VC funded? How did y'all get the initial funds to launch this product? And are y'all, besides the crypto, are y'all still seeking, funding and stuff to build the product?
Yeah, it's a great question. So the digital product is new, but as far as how we operate, it's fairly traditional, even though it's still innovative. And we really entered it's more of the venture capital space. And that's kind of where we spent most of our time before this latest venture. And so in in the sense of almost having somewhat of a kind of a private exchange in the sense that venture capital space, as far as big money helping newer companies to scale. Our difference is traditionally with venture capital, they basically, in exchange for a big chunk of your company, that's where you get the money. That's what the exchange is. We generally don't cannibalize people's company. We just try to help them, and so that everyone benefits. So we still kind of have a traditional model on the other side as far as our assets are concerned. But we just are really excited about this digital launch because of what Kenny already said. It's removing those barriers. Even on the traditional side, you kind of already have to be operating at a certain level. But with this digital space, you can kind of start with nothing and still be able to grow your portfolio, grow your assets, and that's what we're most excited about.
Kenny, for those that haven't seen your white paper, can you summarize your white paper and what is your coin backed by?
So in a nutshell, Beyorch Digital is just the crypto version of Beyorch Inc. We lend money to small businesses, to major companies, to institutions. We just do it in the form of crypto. Our model is, we take that guesswork out of investing. So even in the traditional world or the crypto world, our goal is just to allow that easy barrier to entry. And so the difference between the crypto, we could just do a lot more creative things. We can offer higher returns on your money. We can offer rewards on our tokens. Our tokens are actually backed by our merchant loan obligations on the traditional side, as well as we have an automatic rewards and liquidity pool. So every time you purchase one of our tokens, a percentage of that goes back to, our token holders. So we have some things in place that reward our customers, that allow our customers to get better interest rates on the products that we have. So the two companies kind of work in conjunction with each other.
When I know, like there's, there's Bitcoin, but there's other like Euphoria. I forget these names because I'm still young in my crypto knowledge. But is it backed by a specific type of Bitcoin, Ethereum, or whatever? Like what type of coin?
So our token lives on the Binance Smart Chain. So Binance is similar to Ethereum. They're both, blockchains with smart contracts. So it lives on the Binance Smart Chain. And when you say backed, the thing that backs a token or thing that backs anything is the liquidity behind it. And we have our own liquidity pool within Beyorch Digital and the traditional side, Beyorch Inc. So we keep our token, the volatility that crypto experiences, we try to minimize that a lot just by things we have in place to mitigate those risks.
Do you see the trend? And I know I spoke earlier about, I know at least at the beginning, there's a lot of, just in my community, my personal group, a lot of Black people are very excited about crypto and the opportunities it would offer them. A lot of people that are old school that just wanted to see transaction, same time, wanted to see cash and whatever. Then like the fluctuation. Over the years, have you seen Black people becoming more receptive to crypto? Do you see more investors of color jumping into the digital markets, or do we tend to stay more traditional as a community?
No, absolutely, man. There's a big movement going on right now with Black investors getting into cryptos. You have groups like the Black Bitcoin billionaires. You have people out there that have large clubhouse groups that are just educating people on crypto, the benefits of crypto, especially the benefits of Bitcoin. Because like I said, I mean, it allows us, that access to opportunity that was never there before, without those barriers for entry, without those, your background, let me prejudge you because of the, where you come from, where you live. Crypto eliminates all that. It makes it an even playing field. And a lot of our people are waking up, they're getting involved, and they're becoming, as I would say, crypto rich.
So what's so Andre, what's the goals going forward for Beyorch? Like, where do you see the company growing into in the next 3 to 5 years?
Really, really, really large. At the same tier as the leading coins that are in crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum. We sit right alongside that. We have longevity, like I was saying before, from our core values, long-term thinking. There for a reason. It gives us the ability to serve our communities. Everyone doesn't start businesses to serve, unfortunately, right? A lot of businesses get into it just to see what they can do, right? What they can discover. And consequently, they become competitor focused. We're not. Back to core values. We're obsessed over our customer and what we can do for them, right? Innovation at its core, right? We're constantly moving the needle. We're hiring right now, bringing in a team of ideas, if I can, say, in order to, okay, what else can we do? So let me also add this. Something that is actually developing, that's in construction, is BEYORCH Digital Network, which we've already been laying the foundation for that. And what that consists of is we're going to be, moving from Binance to our own blockchain that we're actually going to be building here very soon. And that's going to allow us to shift from only business to consumer to business and business, and actually serve businesses. Because here's the thing, we've been receiving inquiries from other companies, leaning on us for help, asking, for help. And what we kind of saw that as an opportunity, okay, businesses need help too. Why is that? Well, crypto is a whole nother language. So it's hard for some companies to move in that direction when they don't already have the education. That's a whole nother department and thing. You have committees, and you have your board. It's a lot, to pass through and get everyone on one accord. So what we're doing is eliminating the need to even hire a developer. BEYORCH Digital is something that's going to be it's going to affect every business moving forward. You're looking at something that's automated. It's just going to automate blockchain for them under BEYORCH Digital Network, so that when it comes down to transparency, when it comes down to, as an example, I'll paint this picture for you. Imagine what it's like for you to shop at, let's say, Best Buy, right? And let's say you need to bring something back, but you don't have your receipt. You don't have to argue with anyone. Everything is on a blockchain. Everything is transparent, better security. And that's what we want to actually achieve, over the spectrum of whatever time, but that's something that we're putting into motion right now, in addition to everything else, BEYORCH Digital and BEYORCH.
I want to continue this conversation, do a part 2, but before we go, I wanted to ask, this question for everybody. I know that there's not, that many Black-owned media companies, and we have a lot of Black-facing companies like Revolt and BET, so forth. Do you feel like there's enough financial content that we have in the community to help with our literacy? Like, should there be more shows? Should there be something in the midst of all the reality and everything else we got? Should we have a more focus as media to help with this financial literacy by having some programming that's discussing this? I mean, do you feel like there's enough content out there that's, not that people that are like yourselves and savvy could go find, but that we're pushing to our community just to be able to learn?
So in short, the answer is this. I love that. That's something that we're actually launching, which is the Beyorch Foundation. That's all about education, all about educating our youth, moving them forward, teaching them values, why to have values, teaching them to how to think and how to finance, financial literacy, leadership, things that actually move the needle in your life, because, our children, our youth is our future. So at this point, that's something that we're taking very a serious look at, and we've actually had a couple of meetings about it already, of how we can get more involved in our communities to educate them, because the answer is no, there's not enough. It's not enough. Unfortunately, we're living in a world where everything is fast. Everything is all around you, just stealing your attention. So you don't really know how to focus. There's too much coming at you. There's a lot of companies, with saying, hey, buy me, new iPhone, new this, new that. Hey, listen, over here, Instagram, this person's posting this. I mean, your brain is spread thin. And so we want to, bring our youth back to being able to be in a position to find and search you, find out who you are. And let's start with the basics. Do you know how to manage money? Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Can you get along with people? Let's talk about that. Here's why you should. Here's why it doesn't work. When I was young, I thought this was the answer. Oh, it was me against the world. That was the biggest baloney sandwich, in history. It's not you against the world, at all. We are together, whether we want to, remain divided and think differently or not, but it's not true, man. We're together. And so it takes us as a community working together, seeing what's missing, see who needs what, and let's get it done.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait for part 2 of this. Tell the people where they could learn more about BEYORCH. I'm gonna put the links along the bottom, but just if people are interested in purchasing the coin, or just learning more about the traditional or digital side, where should they seek to get more information on?
They can go to beyorchdigital.com in order to purchase the token. It's pretty simple. They can also download the white paper, which is constantly being updated, and they can follow BEYORCH on IG as well as Facebook. Just type in BEYORCH and BEYORCH Digital. My personal IG is Andre Villeroy, so they can search me. Kenny and Byron, you guys want to give them yours?
At Kenny Burrell.
I'm at Byron Graham, BYRONGRAM.
And lastly, I should have asked this earlier, like how much is your coin, if somebody wants to buy a token, like what's the purchase price on a token at right now? I mean, it's probably fluctuate, I'm sure, but like if somebody's getting in, what are they spending to get a token?
But the great part about anybody that comes right now is we're still in pre-sale, private sale, and the token is at 30 cents.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. I definitely want to have a part 2 to this. Maybe we could start doing some, FinTech discussions weekly, and we could just, have a roundtable and help educate the community. But I really rooting for you, brothers. Hope you get, that you reach your goals, and that people are getting onto BEYORCH and BEYORCH Digital, and that we could build this thing together. And thanks for the time and the education. I learned a lot more about FinTech and BEYORCH through this conversation. So I hope the community did too.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thank you.